There we go. Okay. Well, I would say we gonna do this.
Experience pivotal fragment. Crossing the threshold.
Well, why limit yourself to one instrument when you can conduct an orchestra? I entered the triple R and I'm immediately waved over by my friends. Our usual table, at least when we are planning for group outings. Except this time, something is new. Chiron is sitting with them. That's a really good sign. He got in without any issue. Suddenly, a wave of relief washes over me, like a tidal wave. Ugh. Weird how successfully doing the wrong thing could put me at ease. But I guess that's how things are when the lines are so blurred. And the resolution is so low that you can't see a thing, just pixels, blurry pixels. There shouldn't be any issue with Chiron living in the city like this. With the protests approaching their climax, I hoped for equality. I hope for equity.
Hey, Delta! We were just about to get started. Arriving fashionably late as always.
That's me.
Yeah, I'd definitely say fashionable. Sick outfit, Delta. You're killing it.
What? Thank him and smile. I do always try to look my best. I look like I'm coming from Bloodborne, splattered from top to bottom with blood. Yes, fashion. It was a special occasion too, after all.
I'm not so up to date on fashion and stuff, but I do think you look nice, if that means anything.
Come on, Neptune. Make a choice. One. I think you look great. I'm kinda jealous.
But jealous of this? It's basically just scraps from the colony. Everything back there is a hand-me-down.
I can't imagine wearing someone else's clothes.
Wow, Taylor. Good job.
Somehow I don't believe that.
What is that supposed to mean?
Secrets. I look over at Isaac and he simply smirks. Ah, secrets.
Glad to see you all getting along so well. I'm guessing you're less worried now that we're here?
Something like that, yeah. Until he walked through that door, it was all theory. Not that I didn't trust you, but seeing it certainly helps.
Seeing is believing, yeah?
Yeah.
So, I wanted to talk about a couple of things while we were here. I have an interview with Argus on Friday before the bar.
We know.
I'm telling Chiron. He's not in the group chat, remember?
Hey, can I join that, by the way?
Let's see how things go at the Wayfarer first. I'm a bit more worried when it comes to our chat room. They could monitor that, but not our real-life conversations.
Argus better not be monitoring our group chat.
Yeah, don't want them to see your poor taste in memes.
They're pretty good, actually. Always manage to make me laugh.
Oh no! Oh god! Oh no! Oh, I'm getting invaded. Yay! And here we go. It happened to me too. Good job. Ouch. Well. It's... Now that's a good question. Am I going to nuke the chat or not? Don't see a reason why I should nuke it. Well, I see someone I like. Thank you for being here. Even if you might not be able to talk right now. But I also see this here. La 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 la. Well, that was a first. That was interesting. Oh well. Yeah, but I instantly got all banned. Thank you for my Autobot for that. That's the good thing. I like how Twitch is still like kept coming up with, oh, cool. And I'm like, yeah. You know, the worst part is like, this just happened and then also someone came in, a friend of mine. And it's like, Congrats, you reached your follower goal. Yeah, I bet. Look at those bot accounts. It's amazing. Why do people even waste their time doing this? I really don't understand. 1 second, we will continue in a moment. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. Well, don't worry, people. I'm just doing things. It's fine. We will return to our usual program in a moment. Anyway. Well, that will be interesting to see where this is leading. You know, at this point, I'm really questioning. Sure, I do not know the structure behind Twitch. I know Twitch is still running on an older front end, maybe even back end. Probably back end, but not really front end. And I don't know how much they can do and how much they can't do. But in my book, when I think about it, I feel like, why has Twitch not implemented increasing timer for people to press the follow button? Like, especially, like, not for normal things. Normal behavior is pretty much understandable. But like, when you notice like a certain amount of follows that happen in a short time, that you then like automatically activate a security system that goes literally like the Apple phones of like, someone clicked follow button too many times, then it like blocks it for a certain amount of time for everybody, releases it. If someone clicks on it again, it increases the time, but gives you as a mod or as the channel owner a specific command that allows to disable this function. Like a security lock that activates automatically, but if you know like you just got raided by an actual auto account and just a lot of people just hit the follow button, you can like free it up again. Like Discord has a similar function in it. For example, when you like post a lot of messages after each other, Discord stops you from it and says like, no, wait for this amount, then you can post the next one. Weird. Are we done? Is it done, or are we still going? I think we are done. Okay. There we go. I actually blocked and banned this person. Now the person is gone. That's cool. I'm gonna leave the shield mode on for a little bit. You know, it's actually funny. Like, the shield mode is really nice, but at the same time, if you really use the shield mode in an extremely strict way, I feel like it's shit. Because one of the things I really hate about the shield mode, and you don't need to have this shield mode specifically on, you can like configure this for your own channel without shield mode on. But maybe it's tied to it, I'm not entirely sure. You know, when it says like people need to have an actual email address verified by it. They need to have an account this and this long before they actually are allowed to chat in chat, and so on. And this goes as high as possible as you need a telephone number that is verified with Twitch. And I have seen channels using that. Sometimes it's not very common now anymore, but for some time I saw it when people really used that. And I was like, this is shit. Like, I understand it for the security reasons of this. I get it. That makes sense. But on the other hand, it's also shit because, like, not everybody wants to share their telephone number with Twitch. That's point one. Point two, some people don't really have a telephone number to share with Twitch. So it's kinda mean to push out the people who legitimately want to participate in chat just because you have this feature on. But I can understand that some people feel like, yes, I need this feature on specifically for this. So yeah. I'm gonna keep it on for a few more minutes. But enough about that. That was an interesting new experience. At least I know now how Aslam must have felt. But yeah, that's one of the biggest reasons why I'm using this bot, because this bot is so good at catching any spam bots and especially hate raids. That's why I'm really happy that this tool exists. Even Twitch is happy that this bot exists. Okay, back to the actual game.
Hope things go well then. I want to see all the fun you have.
It's mostly just a place for them to bicker. But entertainment is entertainment after all.
Anyway, you were saying about this interview?
Right. Well, it's at their HQ. They kinda want me to move up the corporate ladder. When I'm there, I'll have access to some of their computers. I figured I'd take a deeper look into what's going on. You know, if there's any heat or suspicion on our group. At work, I can look pretty high up, but my sight is limited.
Well, we're sitting here right now. I figured if we failed, Argus would be here already. Do you really need to risk snooping around like that?
Not really, but I was doing it for everyone else. I'm certain that we're safe, but they were all paranoid.
Well, paranoia is the fear of something irrational. With everything going on, I think it's fair to be scared. Coming here helped, but I wouldn't mind a bit more safety.
That's why I figured I'd do it during my interview. Then I can let you all know before we hit up the Wayfarer. If it's not looking good, then we can stop this altogether.
I have a question, Isaac.
Sure, what's up?
Is all of this related to, you know...
Huh?
That thing we talked about a few years ago? Back when I made you that promise?
Isaac looks surprised, like he completely forgot.
Oh, yeah! It's exactly like that. Honestly, I completely forgot.
Anyone want to fill me in here?
Back when we first became friends, we were really close. Isaac told me that one day he'd ask me for a promise, and even if my gut said no, I had to play along.
That's kind of sketchy. He could get you to do anything he wants.
He does that all the time anyway, but he has yet to cash in on the promise.
Until now?
Until now.
I'm extremely confused. Emphasis on extremely. But if my best friend asked for a promise, I'd probably help them. Not a fan of using them as currency and cashing in on them, though.
You know, that's not so different from the colonies. We can give and take a lot more than money. I've traded a few promises in my day.
Really? That sounds stressful.
Not really. It's just something we're all used to. Especially when we have some special information. We're so tight-knit, a lot of our visions intertwine.
Trading information based on visions for favors. That's one way to drop your score as fast as possible.
Well, we don't have to worry about that kind of stuff out there. The things you all fear are just second nature to us. But I'm gonna guess this has to do with Isaac's vision.
We all look at Isaac.
Yes, but I'm not going to get into it any more than that. Dante promised, but I still need to win the rest of you over.
Well, I'd still appreciate you checking in at Argus HQ. Just because I promised doesn't mean I can't be scared.
Fair.
A few pieces start to connect in my mind, so I vocalize them. At the nightclub, Dante revealed that Isaac's vision was positive. Not only that, but it's tied to a promise that Dante made. Promise to play along and push through this whole ordeal. That must mean Isaac's vision is related to all of this. The end result must be positive for all of us.
I'm not gonna comment on that. The vault is totally sealed.
Yeah, but all that lock takes is a few shots of vodka. Either way, you should have opened up with that, Isaac. If you know it ends well, why make us worry?
Because it might not actually end well.
Huh?
I notice Clays hasn't said much at all. He seems pretty passive and shy. He has his diary with him, though. I hate this. He slowly flips through the pages like he's only half it there.
Why wouldn't it end well?
You all seem so confident that you've beaten the system, but in my vision, I'm a lot older. And still stuck in a colony.
No, I hate when I read the sentence and then comes comma, though. Let me look this up. It irritates me, it irritates me for this single reason, because apparently in English, though I also learned the opposite. I read the sentence and it goes like, comma, though. But to me, that makes zero sense, because though has so many meanings. It can mean but. What is another word for that? Can mean but. It can mean however. It can mean however. It can mean nevertheless. Although it, though has all those meanings, but it makes no sense to put it at the end of the sentence, because a lot of sentences start with those words, like but. So it makes sense to say like, though, however, although, it's strange that though comes at the end. It's colloquial in those cases. Yeah. Seems like I learned it the other way. I learned it the way that though can be used the same way as I would do. So basically start the sentence with though. This game uses this function, like this colloquial, the other way around. And I have to say, I see this extremely rarely done when I read English. So it is so weird to me to read the sentence and have this though at the end. It throws me off. It even throws me off because it makes no sense. Like, it's like saying, it's a sunny day. Soon it's going to rain, but that's basically what the sentence is doing. And that's how I also see it. And I'm like, that makes no sense. We could go down to the shop. It is closed right now. However, that's how the sentence structure is when you put though at the end. Yeah, but you don't understand. Though can also mean but. Like, though has multiple meanings. Like I just told you, like, it also can mean however, it can mean but, it can mean although, and so on. It has multiple meanings, and therefore it makes no sense to put it at the end of the sentence, just like I made the examples just right now. It was a good meal. Now I'm tired, comma, but. That's the sentence that is presented to me, and it makes no sense whatsoever. It can. It's not used when I say, oh, it's a nice book, but I didn't enjoy it. I don't say like, it's a nice book, though I didn't enjoy it. Like, that's not what you say. I just say the word though has multiple meanings. It can stand for the words of but, however, although, like, that is not a lie. I just looked it up. It gives me all those explanations that this word can be translated to those words. And it makes sense. Like, you can use it like that, but when you do, you usually put it at the beginning of the sentence. Like when I say like, it was a nice day, point, though, comma, I didn't enjoy it. Then it has the same function as saying, but I didn't enjoy it. Yeah, of course it's reasonable to say it's a nice book, though I didn't enjoy it. Like I said, a lot of this stuff people get angry about is colloquial. It's a product of culture. But where? Like where is it common to use though at the end? Like, usually this is like a local thing, or it is a very specific to a region, but it's not a common thing that I, by my experience, see in any language when it comes to English. Yes, that's why I ask, do you know where this is coming from? Is this a Southern American thing? Is this a Texan thing? Is it, I don't know, a Canadian thing? Is it, you know? It's like, it's certainly not a British thing, because I just don't experience it, that people really do that. Occasionally, I saw it maybe in written media, but usually people never do that. I've seen it used pretty much everywhere in America. Okay, weird. Like, I have not a huge problem with it. It just throws me off whenever I read it, and it's like, oh, it's a sentence, and then it comes with comma though, and I'm like, what? You know, when we speak about other languages, let's take a lot of Asian languages which scramble like the usual understanding of grammar through the wind, go like speaking only in present. They have no past or past tense, no future no future tense, I think. They just speak in present, and just because they have like slight things that indicate it is meant past or present, future, it's like, it's weird sometimes. Sometimes it's also weird when you have a sentence and they go like, very good, it has been, smile. That makes no sense to someone who has a complete order sentence structure and goes like, why are you doing this? But English isn't doing that. Like, English is not perfect. English is doing things that even people natively speaking English don't understand. So, yeah. That's all.
What?
So I figure it's only a matter of time until I get caught. And that means you'll probably all go down too.
Don't you think you could have told us this sooner?
Well, it's not like it came up until now. I've only been around you like 3 times.
And there goes the promise.
Wait, hold on. There's no reason to give up. Both visions can play along with each other.
But I haven't even told you mine.
Well, let's say this all works out. Equality for zeros, and none of us get in trouble. Wouldn't we all be free to leave and enter the city? Maybe you're just visiting friends who stayed behind.
That's a pretty big maybe.
But it's better than the alternative. So let's not write anything off just yet. We should trust Isaac and let him investigate.
But we might not know for years.
No, that's impossible. Look at the protests. I think things will be decided real soon, especially with the ultimatum from Hermes.
Right, starve or save. Kinda sick of feeling like my friends are pawns. It's not like any of us asked to be part of this game.
It's going pretty good, though, all things considered. And Cypher's phones weren't as secure as the one I made. If everyone got Cypher's version, they'd already be caught. But if Argus steps in to offer them, then it's a win-win. We just have to hope that it happens soon.
True. Maybe it's for the best that Cypher's plan was put to a stop. Gives them time to regroup and figure out what they did wrong. Either way, I think this will all be decided within a week or 2.
Yeah, the anime convention isn't too far away.
Why choose an anime convention anyway?
Well, I doubt they chose it because of that. The schedule's probably just aligned.
I'm not even sure that Hermes said it would be during the convention. It was pretty vague timeline they offered. Just something about the new year.
A lot of people will be downtown, though. Blending into the crowd might be a part of their plan.
I guess we just have to wait and see. But I definitely think we're gonna come out on top. Whether from Argus or from Cypher, those zeros are gonna get phones.
Yeah, I guess waiting is all we can do. Zeros protesting in the town square, actively starving. A mysterious corporation not stepping in to help out. A rebel organization threatening to help out for them. Argus doesn't have to negotiate with the Zeros, it goes against their ethos. If Cypher takes their time with this ultimatum, then Zeros will just start dying on our streets. I certainly picked up the best time to start my new life. Yay!
Experience heart-to-heart fragment. Taylor 2.
Wouldn't that be Christmas 25th? Damn, son, why is everybody having like these amazing places to live? Like, look at this. What the fuck? You know how expensive this place would be? As soon as I enter Taylor's house, I'm taken aback. It's a night and day difference when I compare it to Isaac's. Maybe, but I also don't dislike Isaac's place. This one is almost less good. It feels too clean, too sterile. That would put me in permanent debt. This place is too modern. Like it's too much white. I don't know. It's like, you can tell that he's on the cutting edge. Everything is so modern. Yeah, it's too modern for my taste. But I guess it had to be. I would imagine a streamer needs to stay current. Have you heard that, Twitch? A streamer needs to stay current. Pay me. There must be all sorts of trends in the field, just like any other. Whatever he was doing though, he was doing it right. It's nice to be somewhere other than the Triple R though. There it is again! All of my other meetings and outings seem to resolve around that place. But here I was, in Taylor's home, just like we planned at the nightclub.
Well, what do you think, Delta? This is my castle, my pride and joy. And even better, I made it with no middleman.
Now that's impressive. I mean, that would literally mean he was streaming, never taking any sponsors, because the sponsor would be a middleman. It's too funny. Yeah, because you like being in the being the one in the middle. Smile.
Wow, you know me so well. Why not settle for the best of both worlds, right? Little bit of each is clearly the best way to go. And if you're lucky, maybe I'll let you take part. I hope my intentions were clear enough when I invited you over. Been eyeing you since day one, and I'd like to think you took notice.
He smiles at me before quickly changing the subject. Pointing to the table, I noticed 2 plates of food. I was actually starving, so I appreciate it.
2 Taylor specials, an absolute classic. So, what do you say? Want to take a seat?
Wanna tell me what it is? I nod and we move to the couch. I look down at the plate and I'm not sure what I see. Whatever a Taylor special was, it was certainly unique. I don't know. We look at this, the couch is basically higher than the table behind Taylor. I wouldn't consider that like the best way to consume food.
It's pretty simple, actually. Your favorite chicken sandwich smothered in honey dill sauce. And if you're so inclined, a slice of provolone to top it all off.
What is provolone? I know what Provence is, but provolone? What is provolone? Provolone. What is this? Is an Italian semi-hard cheese made from cow's milk. Never heard of it. Never heard of it, but potentially actually ate it before. Maybe. Maybe. favorite chicken sandwich smothered in honey dill sauce. Oh well. I mean, doesn't sound too bad. Chicken sandwich? Is that law friendly? Vati! Show us the law. Tell us the law. Vati!
To what lore exactly?
Vati's law. I'm not sure how to respond. I stare at him with a blank expression, then I shrug.
Anyway, it's best if the bun is brioche, and the sauce is mayo, honey, and dried dill.
He's brioche. Why is he listening? Why is he listing the ingredients like I'm on some sort of cooking show? Why would you ask that?
Well, you never know how many people are watching. Might as well let them know how to make it themselves, right?
He's streaming this? Watching? Is he streaming right now?
Nope. Anyways, let's dig in.
He says this like, nope. And I'm like, I don't believe him. This is Tyler's OnlyFans account. He starts to eat almost comically fast like a cartoon character. This seems extremely unhealthy, but also kind of delicious. Does he get stalkers often? I don't know. With his size, I doubt he eats like this too often. This must be special to him, so I decide to follow suit. And it's the best thing I've ever tasted in my life. Sweet and savory sauce with a hint of dill, the sharpness of the provolone, the crunch of the fried chicken. It's a symphony of flavors in perfect harmony with one another. And he's right, the brioche bun was really, and he's right, the brioche bun really brings it all together.
Save this one for special occasions, Delta. You don't want to wear it out. Trust me.
I'm surprised that I've never heard of this sauce before.
It's actually a well-kept secret from where I used to live. Remember how I said I used to move around all the time? Every province has its own thing, so I have a lot of fun recipes. But this one always takes the cake. I'm a little sad that I stopped moving around, actually. Discovering regional things like this was always so much fun.
Yeah, he did say he moved around a lot. I ask him if he's comfortable elaborating and he smiles. It doesn't appear to be a touchy subject, which is nice.
Well, I told you the system always kept me mobile, right? I was always in a foster home, or a group home of some sort. Depressing stuff. Kept causing fights and getting into trouble, so they kept moving me around. They always said it was about location. Like, there was some magical place that had changed my life. Little did I know, it was Toronto. But not because of the city. It was my friends.
I like the change in quality that just happened. Toronto, huh? Taylor, getting into fights and trouble? Yeah, that seems to fit him. I guess it makes sense when I actually stop to think about it. I vaguely remember talk about how Taylor was a jerk for fun in the past. But the implications of foster homes and group homes worried me. That one definitely seemed like a touchy subject, so I avoided. I'm just happy that he finally found his calling and place in life. After finishing eating, he turns to face me while sitting down. I do the same and we share an awkward smile.
I'm sure you can understand. You've changed since you got here too. We're better together than we ever were apart, and it's a beautiful thing. I can't believe I used to push people away instead of embracing them. That would have made my vision come to pass for sure. Got a little tired of that thing having power over me. It wasn't really substantial, but it still kinda sucked.
His vision sucked? This is the first time he's mentioned it, if I recall correctly. I tell him not to elaborate unless he's comfortable enough to do so.
Oh, it's really nothing. In fact, it almost feels abstract. I can't see anything at all. It's almost like complete darkness. All I know is that I feel lost and alone, knowing there's no one that cares. And that's it. I just jolt back into consciousness. Pretty stupid vision, if you ask me. It's not useful at all. I beat it, too. I know that was the old me, not this version. If I kept pushing people away, then I'd end up alone for sure. But now I have the best friends in the world, and the best fans. I guess mine was kind of a wake-up call, but that's pretty normal. I'm far from the first guy who's made some changes due to their vision. Sometimes I wish there was a little more to it, you know? Some grand destiny to seize, or some extravagant life.
There's nothing wrong with some solitude. Well, that is correct, but it also depends on the person. Most people don't like solitude. And I get it. I get it, as I say, because I'm really good at being solitude. In solitude. Like, I don't mind. I'm not gonna have the ceiling fall on my head because of that. But I'm not actively trying to avoid people at all. I tell him that he already has that on his own. No vision required. He has one of the highest sub counts in the world and kills every stream. Damn, son. In the world. Not like regional. No, in the world. Damn.
I guess it makes sense when you put it like that. From the outside looking in, I guess it must seem pretty impressive. But when you live it, every day is just like the last. It can lose some meaning. Even people at the top of the world are chasing their next big thrill. The things we dream of having can just fade away in the face of our next big goal. It's why I like to keep my life fresh and exciting, so nothing gets boring over time.
I can understand that. From what he said, he enjoys having multiple sexual and romantic partners. All of a sudden, that lifestyle seems a bit like an act to defy his vision. If he was always with someone when the lights were out, then he would never be by himself. The nervous smirk he gives me at the exact moment only enforces my thoughts. Always joking about how the whole group should date, I understand it even more. He just doesn't want to be alone.
Anyway, I didn't mean to get all introspective. I actually just invited you over for some fun. Like, fun. It probably sounds shallow, but it's been on my mind since we met. However, after getting to know you, I've changed my mind. So an arrangement like that isn't something I'd just jump into. I value your friendship, Delta. But I'm open to some benefits.
This is also on brand for Taylor that I'm not even surprised. This guy that flirted with me the second after meeting me. With everything he said, I figured he was after this. all along. And I know Isaac would be fine with it, even if we are dating. He even said so back to our first date at the RRR, just to set the standard. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. I should answer Taylor's question. Friends with benefits? And possibly the option for something more?
What do you say, Delta? No strings attached. But rope? Now that's a different story.
Oh my, how interesting. It is interesting how I play this game and I see like crystallized interest from different people. And that's good. The only downside is this game is niche. And because the game is niche, it's extremely difficult to find information about the game. It's something that bothered me with the last game because same situation. And I was like, okay, I get it. It's a visual novel. Of course, there will be dates, there will be romantic interests, but it's always difficult because you never know what a visual novel is going to throw at you. By standards, usually it goes into only one direction of saying like, yeah, one interest and that's it. We experienced the last game, and the last game even had side options where it was multiple people, which is nice. I just don't know yet if this game goes in the direction of like, it really doesn't matter, but all the information thrown at us is basically like, yeah, it's fine. Like, you're not restricted. I just personally wished I knew exactly what is the thing going on here and what not. But yeah. Sure, I'm down to give it a shot.
Glad to hear it. Really, I am. But just so you know, I didn't want to do it right now. This was just to break the ice and share a special meal. I want our friendship to be just as important as anything else we do. But New Year's Eve is coming up, and that's always a romantic night. Go out with the others, and you'll have a date for every midnight.
Interesting. So he double planned this entire thing. Interesting. But this is important. Like, Daddy says that the friendship is just as important because, yes, that is also important. I mean, some people can deal with friends with benefits, no strings attached, and like nothing else. Like, some people can do this, but most people over time will fall towards they're gonna be more than just that. And there are strictly people who are like literally going in something like that and say like, just this, nothing more. Everybody's different. And neither of them are wrong. Like, it's just a subjective opinion and decision. And as long as nobody is getting hurt in any shape or form, it's fine. Doesn't make, like, a lot of people say like, if there's someone who's just in for the sex and nothing else, they feel like this is a bad thing and think like this person has no ability to actually form a friendship with anyone else. But that doesn't have to be the case. In rare occasions, it might be the case, but even then, that doesn't mean that there's something wrong. I mean, same reason, right? We have people who literally are aromantic, which means they are not interested in the romantic aspect of a partnership, which is fine. Like, just don't say like, oh, this person is bad because they don't work like social norms. Like, who fucking cares? Everybody's different. Gives me a soft smile, like he's more comfortable all of a sudden. I guess if he was thinking of his English. Read the sentence. It's in front of you. I guess if he was thinking of this since we first met, it's been on his mind a lot.
I'm glad we could clear the air and figure out what's going on. How about we just relax now and enjoy each other's company? Ooh, I could show you some of my big career highlights too.
I smile at him and tell him that I would love to do that. It's important to learn about the content my friends create. If we all supported each other, there's nothing we couldn't do. I'm also grateful that he didn't want to rush into anything. I value this friendship as well, so it didn't make sense to jump right into that stuff. It's nice to know that I was valued in return. I'm definitely closer to him than before. And because of that, I'm sure he'd find a future that's truly free from the darkness.
Experience supplemental fragment. Being suspicious.
Everybody, I have good news!
Oh, yeah?
What happened?
You know that promotion I've been aiming to get? I just scored an interview with the higher-ups at Argus!
No way.
See? I knew you'd get it.
But that is the exact opposite of what you said last time.
Honestly, I like the group dynamic that is present with all of them. I really do. I'm like, that's just so amusing.
Yeah, don't think we forgot about that one, Dante. Either way, I'm looking forward to the treat that you promised.
Treat?
Dante took some shots at Isaac last time he talked about this promotion. Something about not trusting Isaac with more responsibility.
Ouch.
Exactly. That's why Dante doesn't get a treat. This type of thing is only for Isaac's best friends.
Do I get one? I mean, I believe in Isaac.
You weren't even there when it happened.
I'll allow it, actually.
Hold on. What is the treat exactly? Or were you just trying to tease Dante?
Oh no, are we going back to the cannabis gummies?
You know, I haven't even thought about it. But this is a big promotion. It'll require a big celebration.
If you get it, you mean.
When I get it, you mean.
Hey, stop the bickering. Just hope that Isaac gets the job. It's not that hard. Everything will be better if he does. More money, more power.
Fine, okay. I hope you get the job, Isaac, and I'm sorry. Don't you think the timing of this is a little odd, though?
No? I've been working hard. Probably the hardest I've ever worked.
But immediately after that nonsense with Chiron, you step on their toes and they invite you to their HQ.
He's got a point, you know.
I think he's just being salty. He didn't believe in me then, and he doesn't now.
It's not like that, Isaac.
Why is this so hard for you then?
I don't know. Look, you know I care about you, Isaac. I'm just pointing out that the timing is a little odd.
Speak of, the timing is a little odd. Instant ban of another bot. Good job, bot. Well done. And goodbye.
I'm sure we'll be fine. Isaac looked into this already, remember? There hasn't been any heat on us. Not even a little.
It's barely been a week.
Your worries are founded, but you're killing the vibe. We should be happy for Isaac, not filling him with fright.
It's okay. I'm not scared. And I know we're gonna be fine. In fact, I can even use this interview to prove it.
How?
Let's see if I can explain this in a non-tech way. Back at work, I actually outrank the PCs we use. They hold me back. But at Argus HQ, I can take full advantage of my security clearance.
Really?
Yeah, but that shouldn't really be surprising. All the power is within Argus's headquarters. Retail outlets only get a fraction of that.
Then how do you know we're really safe? All the data on us could be at a higher level.
I can see enough at work to give me peace of mind, but I can take a look at Argus's HQ for your sake. Anything I can do to make you less worried.
Like how you gave Chiron social media and stuff. Are you sure you won't get in trouble for this?
Most people would, but remember who you're dealing with. I can cover my tracks better than the best in the business.
I underestimated you, Isaac. Snooping around in their own HQ? Always thought you'd be more timid in the end.
Nah, this is where I'm the most confident. Hopefully after this, you'll start to trust my abilities.
If it's truly just an interview, then I'll yield forever. But until then, I believe a tiny bit of paranoia is justified.
Fair. Actually, it's on Friday, so I can tell you all about it at the tavern. I'm pretty sure it'll be multiple interviews too.
Multiple interviews? I hope you get called back then. What position are you up for exactly?
It's actually a step above my current boss. He runs one store, but they want me overseeing multiple. I basically just sit in their HQ and monitor the district's sales numbers.
Promoted above your own boss?
Yeah, he's not interested in all that extra stuff. In fact, he personally recommended me for the promotion. So like I said, I'm pretty sure I earned this. It's not a trick.
I'm starting to believe, I'll say that much. Just give us an update on Friday and I'll look forward to it. In fact, I can't wait to party with some peace of mind.
Yeah, talk about a night to remember.
Let's hope it's actually true. Right. Let's see.
Experience heart-to-heart fragment. Dante 2.
We are not going to switch from chapter 2 to chapter 3 today. Hell no. That's like a 2 to 4 hour story. I entered the triple R and my hunger and thirst immediately apparent. It has a distinctive smell, but it's a good one. Definitely loosens up the wallet. Yay! Wait, smells can loosen up wallets? I should use that. Everywhere. I should manipulate said smell to DNA. It's like, I need to give money to this specific DNA. Yes. And I won't feel bad about it. Like all the rich people we have in our country, it's like, oh no, I feel so sad that I have so much money. I think I should give it to this person to make them more happy. And then I will feel better. And so they will do so. Speaking of an old expression, I would be meeting Dante for lunch today. He was the only person I knew that still carried around a wallet. A bit old-fashioned, especially when everything is forced onto our phones. Yeah, that's something I personally don't like, where our actual lives are going. It's like, don't put everything on your phone. Bad idea. But I guess it could still be useful for something. Whatever that something could be. I eventually find him sitting at the table in the back corner. That's not where I expected to see him. We all kind of have a usual table. But I guess we weren't here as a group. It was just me and him. My one-on-one time has been kind of limited so far, actually. It was nice to be able to see my friends outside of our group dynamic. If anything, stuff like this would only serve to make our group dynamic stronger. He notices me and waves me over. Things get off to a quick start. He's typing away at the laptop in front of him, but multitasking seems to be no issue. Since I wondered about it moments ago, I asked him about why he has a wallet.
Most people tend to start with a greeting, Delta. But I guess I'm just too cool for people to follow the rules. And if you must know, it was a gift from my father.
Oh, that makes sense. It's just a relic of a simpler time. Smile.
Basically, he told me we should never forget where we came from. I don't really know how a hand-me-down wallet helps with that, though. It might be one of those things that only makes sense to old people.
Yay! Wallets are now for old people. A bit soon, do you have a wallet? He laughs before closing his laptop. I guess work was over now.
Sorry about that. You never know when a good idea might hit you. It's a total lifesaver carrying around something I can jot notes in. In fact, I owe a couple of my best-selling ideas to this thing.
And he's right. And here is a tip for everybody. Yes, you have a brain. Yes, your brain is very efficient with storing information. But also, yes, you are very good at losing said informations because your brain is very good at filtering out useful information from useless information. But guess what? We live in a time where you have a phone in your pocket. Yes, I'm going there. And guess what? Having a second brain is a good idea. What does it mean? It means that you have a good, secure app that basically is a note. But a note that you can order with categories, with hashtags and importance levels, and note down the various small information you encounter in your life so you do not forget. Yes, it means anything that you feel like, I was actually interested in that. But most of the time when you think like, oh, that sounded interesting, you forget it. And therefore, the second brain. The second brain is your wonderful archive of things that you thought of, that you experienced, that you saw, that you felt like could be interesting. Is it a thought that might spark a project? I don't know. You can basically put anything in there. And then you can always look at it. And when you know this is now part of something that I'm doing anyway, you can take it out from there and free up that space. But it's a great way to deal with a lot of things. So if you ever wondered, how do I retain all this wonderful information that is thrown at me every day? This is one of the best solutions you can do. Yes. Back to the game. Sounds like being a writer is tough. I hadn't even considered the possibility of forgetting your own ideas. But all of a sudden, I'm mad at the thought. I can't imagine how much work it would... I can't imagine how much it would suck.
Though, nothing helps as much as this.
He reaches for a cup and takes a large swig of coffee.
My greatest ally. Weaponized caffeine.
Weaponized caffeine. caffeine. It goes into my mouth and goes out between my legs. That's what caffeine is in my body. Just a visitor that comes in, has a wonderful ride through my body and leaves me again. Caffeine, it's useless. At least for me. More like greatest addiction.
Honestly, I used to hate the stuff. I wanted my day to start when I got out of bed, but all the work just made it harder and harder for me.
I remember Taylor mentioning something different in the nightclub. Something about a contest that turned him into an addict. Dante immediately blushes and looks away from me. Uh-huh. What was this contest about? Tell me everything. All the details.
Gotta be honest, I was hoping you forgot that one. If Taylor is good at one thing, it's embarrassing me.
And here we have a completely new picture of Dante we've never seen before. First time he's actually really blushing. Oh, look at the poor puppy. He's blushing and embarrassed. Ah. I've wanted to win. I've wanted to win contests too. It's nothing embarrassing. Those companies can throw around a life-changing amount of money. Yeah, give me money. Amazon, give me money.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. This wasn't a contest for money. The prize was a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
That can be good, and that can be bad. Oh, interesting. Like a trip around the world? Something like that?
You could say that, yeah?
I'm so good at predicting him. He's being extremely vague. Why is this so embarrassing for him? Oh, I know. I tell him that he has nothing to worry about. I won't be judging him. Oh, you are.
Fine, but I'm only doing this to beat Taylor to the punch. Something tells me he's just waiting to drop this one on you.
He rubs the back of his head and lets out a nervous laugh.
It was Clace. I used to be a huge fan. Well, I guess I still am, but I really wanted to meet him. He had this brand of energy drink and used it to launch a contest. Find the winning can, and you'd get to go on tour with him. I guess I thought that traveling the world with a pop star would be inspiring. I didn't win, though. I just ended up with a crippling addiction to caffeine.
Yay! Here's the thing. Why did he drink it? Like, why? Why did he drink it when this is like a thing you're doing? Like, find the special can that gives you the promotional ticket to go on tour with this pop star. Why did he drink it? Just look for the right can, and all the other cans you literally sell to others. Give them like, I don't know, 10% or something like that. Like, you don't put like, it's not. He might correct me on that, but I cannot imagine that they made like energy drinks and they were like, in one of those energy drinks we made orange juice. So if you find the can with orange juice and you have to drink it because it has like, I don't know, a nanobot inside that goes into your body to a specific place, and we then going to scan it and see if you have it in your body. Even then, you have no reason to drink any of the energy drinks. Like, I don't get it. He can correct me on that, of course, but otherwise is zero grounds for actually drinking the energy drinks. Didn't realize Clays had his own brand of energy drinks. That's pretty extra, so is the entire idea of the contest, to be honest. But on the other hand, it would drive sales and give him more exposure.
Maybe not tell Clace, though. If he finds out, then he'll know I've been putting on an act. I tried to be all oblivious, like I didn't really know who he was.
Suddenly a lot of stuff about last week made more sense. At the club, Dante was the first to speak to Clace when we got upstairs. And not only that, but we were pre-gaming. Dante suggested the music. We've got ourselves a secret little fanboy, don't we? Very nice, like, I'm going to bug you about this every day. Like, Hello there, Vilnoise. How are you doing?
Thanks, Delta. Knew I could count on you. But I think I saw people start to turn and look. Maybe we should change the subject?
Right. Clace requested that we offer him privacy while he was here. Okay. That's good. Hey, Vilnoise, guess what? Today I experienced a storm of bots coming into my channel and subbing to my channel. Good thing I have a bot that instantly bans everybody trying that, and then, well, I had to turn on the shield mode to get rid of them. I still don't understand why people are doing this. It's just weird. At least Dante got what he wanted in the end, the chance to meet someone he admired. I sit and wait, deciding to let him come up with whatever we would talk about next.
Well, last time we talked, I remember I was working on my book. You'd be happy to know that progress has quite literally exploded. I guess it was only a matter of time before the floodgates opened. That's kind of how I operate, though. I could go months without working, and it'd be no big deal. But once that ball is rolling, I have no problem making up for the lost time.
I'm pretty sure that's common for people who make their own hours. As long as he gets the job done, he's free to handle it however he wants.
Suddenly, that 12-month deadline doesn't seem too bad. In fact, I've even started thinking about what I want to do next. There's a whole world out there, and I've been locked in a room.
You know, he didn't have to be locked in a room. He could have used that time when he got a writer's block to go outside, do other things. Because when you have a blockade of any kind, it's better to do something else than trying to force it as hard as possible to unblock. Isolation is amazing. He knows what's good. What does shield mode do? Basically, shield mode basically activates various effects and things. Let me put it on actually. So basically, when I put on shield mode, you need to adhere to specific settings that I set for shield mode, which then literally instantly all go into effect at once. Like things that first time chatters cannot speak, emote only chat. Followers only chat for this amount of time, slow mode for this amount, slow mode, how slow, non-mod chat delay, disable Twitch alerts, and things like that. You need specific verifications to actually be able to chat. Follower verifications need to be followed, and so on. Yeah. But let's turn it off. If it's going to turn off, let's see. There we go. Now it's off again. It's literally a one button that activates like every security that Twitch can offer at once. But I already have a bot who instantly banned everyone who tried to follow. It didn't avoid really that they clicked the follow button, so I still got all the wonderful the wonderful things of like, new follower, new follower. Which I don't care because I don't hear it anyway. And I'm not sure if you hear it. I think not. Bitzone, did you hear it? I wonder, since that happened. You heard it, okay. Yeah, makes sense, because probably comes from Twitch. So yeah. But I think I not really got any additional big followers out of that. Otherwise, I would have reached my 75 goal, which, as you see, is not a thing. So basically, everybody got blocked and banned, and because of that, they are getting unfollowed automatically. So yeah. So I have always my bot, which is an instant blockade to any bot and spammer and flooder. And then I can put on shield mode for a specific amount of time until it's over, and then I turn it off again, and it's fine. I'm really glad that Seribot is actually existing on Twitch. Very good. Blah 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 blah. Oh, thinking of traveling the world?
Maybe one day, but I gotta start small. I was actually thinking of reconnecting with some family. Believe it or not, my life doesn't fully revolve around Isaac.
Crazy. Really? He fooled me.
Though I'm starting to think that yours might. I mean, he told me that you two are gonna try dating. That probably means you'll be getting closer to me, too.
By the way, you're just chatting at the moment. Oh. Yeah, I'm really good at this. Thank you for pointing it out. Yay! Good job, streamer. You changed the category. Hooray! No, actually, thank you, Venlois. I really totally forgot. As per usual. Oh, look! Does anyone have influence in the choice that I shall click on here? Now is your chance. Your chance to make a difference. Ba 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 bum. Ba 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 bum. Ba 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 bum. I assume Epitune also is in the same boat as you, Noise. Yay! Doesn't bother me, I could easily handle both of you. This is interesting because it actually is like nudging Dante, and I'm actually interested what he's going to say to that.
Oh, really? Well, handle away. You know, you're starting to remind me of Taylor. And I don't mean that as an insult. This time. Probably.
He strikes a thinking pose for a few moments before speaking again.
Right, back on track. I remember telling you that I basically grew up in a library. Well, I meant that literally. The librarian let me stay there when I needed it, so when things got rough at home, I'd just go get lost in a good book.
I knew of a librarian as well, but he tried to kill me and did so multiple times. It wasn't a pleasant experience.
But things at home kind of got worse as time went on, so before I knew it, the library became my entire life. They sheltered me while I learned to read and write. I can definitely look back and say it was worth it, but at the time, it definitely seemed like the worst thing ever. I wrote a bunch of woe is me stories to attempt self-pity. Eventually, some of them found their way into anthologies. That was the first step. People kept saying how good my stuff was. I got an agent to help me with all the publishing offers that came my way. But that's the thing. I've been working ever since. Haven't had much time to take care of Dante things. But after this next book, my whole life is wide open.
Growing up in a library sounds like it could be pretty awesome. Is it? I wish it could have happened for him without the issue back home.
Bet you didn't expect me to be a runaway, huh? A lot of people don't. They act surprised or shower me in sympathy, but I don't need any of that. I think I'm doing really well for myself. Do you think that too, Delta? I mean, I feel like I've accomplished quite a bit, maybe enough for my family to let bygones be bygones.
You accomplished a lot. It's kind of infatuating. Infatuate, betören, bezaubern. Okay. It's not a word that is used often.
Oh, come on. You're starting to sound like my inbox. But nice to know that you're at least a little taken with me. We'll have to talk about that more sometime. It's totes mutual.
Totes mutual. It totes mutual. That is a sentence I have never heard in my entire life. I know what it means, but it's like nobody says that. That sounds more like something like a girl says. It's totes mutual.
Of course, I need to finish this book before I do anything major, unless any impatience gets the better of me, which it will. Either way, I just hope you'll have my back.
I nod and tell him he's right. I'd always have his back, especially now that he's opening up to me. It's weird. I learned more about him in one sitting than I ever have before. A runaway novelist who grew up in a library, fractured relationship with his family, and a renowned bibliography. I really need to do something with my life.
Well, I gotta say, thanks for the chat. I hope we can do this again, maybe on New Year's Eve? You have 4 midnights after all. If I don't get one, I'll be offended.
Oh, Jesus. No pressure, TM. He smirks at me, and at our time at the Triple R came to an end. He's right though, because of the quantum leap, I'll have 4 midnights. And not only that, but I have 4 new friends: Isaac, Taylor, Dante, Clays. Things were definitely gonna be interesting on the 31st. Wah 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 wah.
Experience Pivotal Fragment. Rebels and Revels, Part 1.
Yes, indeed. The action of one person can ripple and cascade. Oh no, the throwback. No. They just did it. Oh no, Clays, how dare you? Well, thank you, Bob. I shall hydrate myself and do a stretch. So we're gonna call this campaign Winds of Change. It's gonna be a long campaign. Time for some change. The winds of change. Time for a lost dance and catching it somewhere, and we never got it. Sadness. Finally, the dance. Finally, the dance. If we weren't dead. Damn. I sit in my chair, the gum is slowly kicking in. Why are we all addicted to cannabis? There's a character sheet in front of me and a map on the table. It looks like some sort of fantasy village settled in a forest. Yeah, strange, huh? Everything's a bit foggy right now, but I'm super content and relaxed. It was all just a dream. No, Vernoise. We don't do the worst of any storytelling. No. Taylor, behind some sort of cardboard barrier, starts to speak. I guess it's his time to shine. His first game as a GM.
Well, well, look where we are. The sheltered forest village of Valinor. The war has ended, and the monarch returns home.
No! Oh my god. They're really pulling this off. Everyone looks at me and I nod. I didn't know I'd be the main character in this game, to be honest. But it kind of feels nice, so I accept the role without hesitation.
You're here to visit your friend, the Elder of Valinor. Disguised as monarch business, you really just want to see a friend. The crown weighs heavy upon you, and your bonds ease this burden. Elder.
Everyone looks at Clays. He seems a little shocked.
Me?
Elder? He's only 21. And Did you never watch Naruto? You know? Sand Village and so on?
Yes, you. The monarch appointed you as elder because of your values. You wish to see Valenorth open up and unite with other nations.
No wonder the voice actors are the same. I don't think they go as far as actually showing us real scenes from the game. It's the same voice actors because they are friends and it is easier to work again with the same voice actors because you already have experience with them. Just kidding, just kidding. I know, I know.
Unity? That sounds good to me. Honestly, the world could use more of that.
Spoken like a true elder, but also a little off topic. The monarch's bodyguard steps forward, aiming to get back on track.
Taylor taps the tablet, getting Chiron's attention. Which is funny, because the voice actor of Chiron is the same as, you know. Didn't know Taylor made up backstories for our characters. Signing up just as a sword user, I figured my history would be a clean slate. But a monarch with a bodyguard? I could get used to it.
Hey, let's get this back on track, shall we? The war may be over, but that doesn't mean it's playtime.
Look, it's Ulrich in his younger years when he still was in training. You know, it's like more twink right now instead of oh no.
As if to urge on small talk, another friend steps forward. Once a swindler, it seemed like he still craved gossip.
Everyone looks over at Isaac, who simply shrugs.
A swindler? Come on, that's kind of mean. I thought you saw me as more than that.
In character, please.
Isaac quickly realizes there's no way to address this in character. With a simple shrug, he continues on from Taylor's earlier prompt.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with some small talk, Chiron. A lot of people spill their greatest secrets in casual conversation.
What secrets could he possibly be keeping from us? Insubordination isn't exactly his style.
Yeah, I'm more interested in whatever the opposite of that is.
You mean obedience? I like that in a guy.
He's trying to flirt even as the GM.
Did anybody hear something?
It's me, the streamer. Far too much amused. He's relentless. I like him.
Other than us, I can't say I have.
Maybe it was a whisper from the spirits.
A spiritual and sheltered forest village? Isn't that a little derivative?
You're one to talk.
What does that mean?
Never mind. Either way, the spirits don't work like that in this world. In fact, the end of the war marked the end of the spirit realm. Alestia was free to forge its own path, with no external influence.
Oh, so this is basically the end of Winds of Change.
No external influence? Funny for a GM to say.
In character, please.
Oh, how I hate those gods that look down upon us, cursing my existence to that of a lowly swindler.
For the record, I think being a swindler is pretty awesome.
Totally agree. I'm just some dumb mercenary. I fight henchmen while you topple nations.
Oh, so you do think I'm awesome.
Yeah, and you totally look the part.
He sounds it too.
Pretty good reference, Taylor. I wonder if anyone will get it.
It's not like there's anyone watching us.
Oh, of course. So, why are we here again anyway? Didn't we have some monarch business to attend to?
Everyone exchanges glances, then stares right at Taylor.
Oh, of course, the official business. What was that again?
Are you serious?
I said, what was that again?
Taylor nudges his head toward Dante. I said toward. I'm so happy. As if this were a cue. Dante holds up a piece of paper, a mock scroll.
And at that exact moment, the monarch's advisor bursts into the room, holding a scroll and struggling to catch his breath. It seems urgent.
I am not acting like I'm out of breath.
Oh no, it's him. I can't. This is so good.
Immersion killer. Just go ahead and read the scroll. We need to get this show on the road.
Right. Sorry to disturb your small talk, Monarch, but I have a matter that might need your attention.
Might?
No, it definitely needs your attention, and I was talking to the Monarch, not you.
When you're in my village, you talk to me. Let's not start disrespecting my authority here.
Everyone looks at each other, shocked that Clace put his foot down. I guess he was getting into the role. That made things even better.
Oh, of course. Sorry, Elder.
Thank you, Dante. But now you have to prove that apology. A sorry means nothing if you keep slipping up.
He's right, you know. Should I get that in writing and make you sign it? Binding people to their word is kind of my thing. That's why I live my life by one rule. Never count on somebody who's unreliable. It's impossible to strike on the promise of a maybe.
All right, I get it. Well, if you don't find me reliable, then have this. It's a letter from the Thorns, back in Mazio.
It's actually pronounced Mazeo.
God. Off with his head. Oh God, this is all far too much relatable. Why? Oh.
Really? That's not what I've heard.
Well, I guess everyone says it differently. Anyway, feel free to let them know what's happening.
Of course. Sorry about that, everybody. The voice from above seems to keep cutting me off.
Been happening more and more lately. But go ahead and lay it on us, Dante. Can't possibly be worse than the war.
Maybe not, but it could easily start another. The war definitely left a big power vacuum. We have to face that fact. Unfortunately, a power vacuum in Mazeo is a lot worse than anywhere else.
I like how he's saying Maceo so defiantly. So defyingly. Relatable? You've been the subject of public execution before, eh? Every day. What you gonna do about that?
You said the Thorns, right?
Yeah, I figured you'd be familiar with them. They're using the confusion and chaos to make a move. It's pretty clear. They want to undermine our newfound leadership.
And let me guess, their main weapon is blackmail.
Of course. After you stopped swindling, they took charge. Or maybe they even started during the war, when you were busy. But the townspeople are in their hands. Not willingly, of course.
I'd get the axe sharpened to continue the trend, boss. Yeah, you don't need to sharpen that. It's a deo. A dio. Just spray it on people. They go like, oh God, my special eyes.
We should take care of this as soon as possible. A hostile Mazeo isn't exactly my idea of a good neighbor.
But how can we fight back?
Contrary to popular belief, paper does beat paper. We dig up dirt on them and ruin their credibility. Then the blackmail they have means nothing.
I don't think that's a good idea. We have to prove our leadership to those still on the fence. Subterfuge and shady stuff will only make us seem dubious.
I agree. Our goal was to lead the world into a better age. We can't resort to the same tactics our enemies did, or even the ones we used in order to win the war. Remember? We all promised. That kind of stuff would stop after we won. We're leading now, so we have to do it right.
Fine, fine. Old habits die hard, I guess. It'll just be hard to win a battle where our enemy fights dirty. Remember, we were a little dirty during the war. That's how we won.
But this is just some gang of information brokers. They'll live up to their name, nothing more than thorns in our sides. They can't hold a candle to the Triumvirate, right? The worst is over.
And if it isn't, then you'll always have my sword arm. In fact, I expect an ambush or two on our way back home. We should head to Museo while it's still bright outside.
I agree. I made good time on the run over, too. If we leave now, we'll make it before it gets too dark. And that's just when the thorns are most likely to strike.
And with that, our merry gang is reunited once more. Fresh off the heels of one war, it seems they aimed to prevent another. They head out hoping to win this battle the right way and prove their mettle. Because even though the previous tyrannical leaders were dethroned, the people of Alestia hadn't fully embraced their new leaders. If things went awry, the new monarchy could very well be usurped. After a long and arduous journey, the group returns to Museo. A meeting is immediately called, with everyone making their way to the war room. Feeling no need to change things up, the new monarchy still used the old rebel HQ.
So, do we want to go over all of this again?
Yeah. It looks like the Thorns want to run things around here. Apparently they've dug up dirt on all of us. A lot. If they spread it, the people could fear us.
Giving them a legitimate claim to leadership.
There's no way the people would side with the Thorns. Leaking secrets speaks more about them than us. It's a pitiful, destructive way to seize power.
Don't forget what my job used to be, Clace.
Oh, right, sorry. But you did that stuff out of necessity. It seems like they're just doing it for fun.
It seems like the tables have turned, actually. We dug up dirt on the Triumvirate and used it to take them down. I suppose it's not out of the question that someone would do the same to us. But on the other hand, what we did actually saved countless worlds. The Thorns just want to take advantage of something that could profit them. We acted in the name of greater good, and it seemed like the act for their... And it seems like the... Can I please do English for once? And it seems like they act for their coin purse. Coin purse.
Well, I think this one rests with Isaac. How could we fight back against this? It is your area of expertise, after all.
Well, we have to put the people first. Anything aggressive or manipulative is a no-go. The way we react now will decide how they see us.
Is aggression really a bad option? The Thorns could have dirt on every citizen in Alestia. If we take them out and seize their base, it'd keep everyone safe.
The ends justify the means and all that. Yes, depending on the situation.
I think it's just killing that we need to avoid. We can attack them and take them in, but no vigilante stuff. Pure justice.
It would work. That is, if they truly are a threat. We can't just take them down to save our own hide. Isaac, you know more about this than anyone else. Is the information they have dangerous? Forget about whatever dirt they have on us. I'm talking about how they could harm our people.
Yeah, information brokering is a shady business. They probably have secrets that could topple nations, and a lot more that could tear apart the lives of innocents. But they would argue that revealing the truth is justice. I even told myself that when we fought against the Triumvirate. A means to an end. Everything is always a means to an end.
Oh no.
Hey, I have an idea.
Yeah?
Remember how you dig in mailboxes at the taverns? You know, to find out secrets you could sell?
It's truly awful.
I'm not proud of it, but yeah.
Well, that's not all you did, right? I imagine you bought information from people too. What if we posed as civilians looking to sell some info?
And catch them in the act?
Entrapment? Isn't that immoral?
Not necessarily entrapment, but a way to get into their base for recon. That way we could see what they're up to in every regard.
And crack down if we see anything worrying.
Well, this certainly seems morally gray, but I don't see anything that would reflect poorly on us. We'll only take them in if we see the potential of harming our people.
And if we don't?
Well, I know that we did a lot to take down the Triumvirate. We swindled nations and murdered our enemies to start the list. If the Thorns bring that to light, we'll have to accept the repercussions.
Is there really no other way?
Well, it really isn't right to try and cover up our actions. Especially if it means hiding the truth of things from our people. That's exactly what the Triumvirate did to us when it came to the spirits. They hid a truth that they knew would jeopardize their leadership. If we approach this from the same angle, then we're no better. We have to act in Alestia's best interests, not our own.
True.
It's what we've always done.
So, that's the plan then? Infiltrate their base and gather data?
Yeah. And we only take action if we believe our people are in danger. With what Isaac said, though, I'm almost certain that they are. We just need to prove it before cracking down on them.
Is this acceptable, Monarch?
For a moment, I forgot I was taking part in this game. But in retrospect, it really did make me feel like I was the leader. Everyone talking about what to do before presenting me with the best option. But it really was the best option. The best... What am I even reading? We can't just attack and kill those who threaten our rule. Well, you can. But it's good if you don't. But if the actions of the Thorns threaten our people, that's different. I authorized the operation. Well, I can take this oversized pizza cutter and use it on my enemies. And split their opinion. Physically. We'd infiltrate their base and discern the full extent of their actions. Tyranny is certainly a way to rule. Maybe not the best way, but it's a way. Yes, just ask Emperor Palpatine. Join the dark side of the Force. No. And then he died. But hey, he ruled an entire galaxy for 20, 30 years. I know Isaac says they are obviously a threat, but we need some evidence. We'd have to do this the right way in order to win the favor of our people. It's not an easy transition waking up to new rulers of the world after all. But we'd show them as we continued that their lives were in our capable path.
Experience supplemental fragment. Being sleepy.
Aw, being EP. Me. Every day at late night.
Hey, I have a suggestion for our slumber party.
What is it? Oh, by the way, I stocked up on those gummies. I have enough to share, but you should still pick up your own.
Everybody is a drug addict in this house.
Way ahead of you, actually. Anyway, what's the suggestion, Dante?
Rebels and Revels.
What and what?
Only the hottest tabletop RPG in the world. I'm thinking we start a campaign and make it a weekly thing.
Not a bad idea. Let me guess, you'll be the GM?
Not a chance, man. Writing is my job. You think that's what I want to do in my off hours?
Ask every chef. No, I'm the chef in the kitchen. That is fun. And then I go home and suddenly invest the next 1 hour to make myself a dinner. No.
Fair. Is it hard to do?
Nah, not really. It's so easy even Taylor could do it.
Well, now I'm gonna do it. Purely to spite you, of course.
Spite makes a good GM, actually. You want to put your players through some tough times.
I won't go easy on you.
I'm quaking in my boots, trust me. That is, if you're all down to do this.
Sure, I'm down.
Yeah, sounds good to me. What about Chiron?
What about him?
I'd hate to leave him out of this. It's a group thing, and I kinda made him part of our group.
I don't know if letting him into our home is a good idea yet. Your heart is in the right place, but yeah.
Hasn't he basically turned that jet into his home? I mean, he spends all his time hiding out in there, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we should host the game over there. That way we can involve him and stay under the radar.
Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all. But remember, you're only here for a few months. There's no way we'd be allowed back in when you leave.
I guess that's fair. But I'd like to stay a part of your campaign. Maybe I can hop on a video or voice call to stay in touch.
That'd be awesome. And there's our solution for Chiron, too. We'll just get him here through a call.
I have 7 years of GM experience. For the love of God, do not use spite as a motivator for GMing. Breeding hostility is only going to end poorly. As someone who is a GM since 7 years, not me, you. You should be aware that your players doing the same thing, right? It's like you are the GM and you plan everything out, and then there is always at least one player that goes like, yeah, I don't know, I cast like power word insanity. Like I summon a gum from the future into my timeline and use it to torture this creature. But yeah, no, it is of course correct. Don't treat your players like shit. Be a nice GM, but it's okay to occasionally nudge your players a little bit, but not to create actual hostility or as a motivator for anything. But occasionally you are allowed to be a little bit more mean. Of course not in the sense that you are going to end the campaign just because you felt like it. And no, I cannot speak from experience. I did maybe once a D&D session for, I don't know, an hour and then never again. Not because I hated it, I don't know. I deal better with video games than with D&D sessions. Unless you have a D&D video game, then maybe I could probably be more into it.
This is actually starting to sound pretty fun. But hopefully one day you can let him inside your house. Even if we include him like that, he could still feel left out.
True, but like I said, it's best to not take that risk just yet. If anyone investigates his records, that'd be the first place they check. Best to avoid putting a target on us until we're absolutely certain.
Good idea. I'm still feeling a bit nervous about all of this. But a weekly campaign might be a nice escape.
Never a bad idea to get away from what bothers you. Those gummies might make it more interesting too. I can already picture you. A GM under the influence.
I'll make it a journey to remember.
Yep, this is how we die.
And that is a new expression. It's okay, we turn your bodies into food for the villagers. That would be an interesting way to die. No. All I can think of is Snowpiercer, and all I can say, no. Well. Let's see. Yes, Noise is present. That is good. Noise, present. Say yes, or anything, or ah. All is fine. Speak for yourself. I would not mind going out in an interesting fashion. There are better ways for that. Anything ah. Good.
Experience heart-to-heart fragment. Isaac 2.
Deja vu. I enter the triple R and find Isaac sitting at a nearby table. Again, it's weird how much I've been here lately. A home away from home. Maybe I'll order something light and try to save some money for the Wayfarer. This is our first date though, so maybe I should order something special, like the Majira strawberry that nobody can pay for. Our first date, like this date, the 12th of 24th, Tuesday, is also a date. A date can also be a fruit which you can eat. You can eat it fresh or you can eat it dried. Anxiety rises within me as I face that simple fact. I'm sure I'll be fine though. We're already good friends. And they always say that's how a good relationship starts, right? I agree. Isaac waves me over with a big smile on his face. I'm happy to be here. After planning this last time we talked. It always felt good to make plans that people follow through on.
Hey, Delta! Good timing! I was just looking over my invitation to Argus HQ. Something tells me this promotion is already mine.
Alright, he was up for a promotion within Argus. I remember hearing about that a couple times since I moved here. But this time, there was some paranoia associated with it due to current events.
A bit nervous to meet some of these higher-ups, though. I've only ever seen their names and titles in mass emails, so it's almost like they're these figures from folklore.
It's almost like dating some mysterious creature from Finland. I don't know. Strange.
But I know that they're people just like me. And maybe one day I'll be the one sending those emails. Believe it or not, I've contributed a lot to the company during my service.
Tilts his head toward the window and I turn to look outside.
See those drones buzzing about? I helped Argus optimize the code that they run on. Before my update, they definitely weren't as efficient. That's the cool thing about computers, though. They don't have to think before acting, they can just act. If the code is good enough, they can run purely on instinct.
Political assassination inbound. In this game for all those lurking FBI agents. I the name? Let me look this up, because now it bothers me. Shit. There we go. There we go. La 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 la. I will find it. What? Ah, there it is. Yes. This is not Minority Report, okay? Minority Report is scary, and I hope it will never come to pass.
Or at least, whatever the machine equivalent of instinct is. After my update, the litter in the streets really tapered off. You'd think that'd satisfy me, but I keep reaching higher.
It was a good film. It was also a display of a future that nobody wants.
That's why I'm so excited about this opportunity. But given the whole Chiron situation, I'm also scared. I tell myself that my actions are morally sound. It seems to help. It just reminds me of this old saying I used to hear. It's better to fall for your own beliefs than cave in the face of others. But we should change the subject anyways. Far too grim for me. And I'd rather not have our first date affected by things like that. You know me, though, the world's leading expert on rambling. But if we're dating, at least now we can have anxiety together.
No. You can keep your anxiety. Thank you very much. I turn back to face him, and he smiles at me. I didn't know he actually contributed that much to August. Maybe he really was held back by wasting his days in retail.
Here, look at this.
He looks down at his phone, but tilts his head toward the drones once more. As he starts to tap away at his device, they start to move back and forth. No, burden me with your anxiety. I can handle it. It's clear he was in control, making them do a sort of dance.
Manual override, see? For testing optimal flight paths and observing the city. Or in this case, to make myself look extra cool.
He's far too obsessed with this idea of being cool. That is pretty cool, actually. I ask him if he's allowed to do this at will. Showing off shouldn't have to get him in trouble after all.
Yep, I'm allowed to play with them whenever I want. Of course, it's supposed to be in the name of optimization. Every month, I have to give Argus more effective flight paths. You'd think after a while I couldn't optimize them anymore. But Argus doesn't believe in that. Everything could always be better. Helping them with stuff like this definitely got me in the running for my promotion.
No, you can still optimize 0.0000000000000000000000001%. What a poor way to handle team management. Look, this is perfect, because they are a company, and it makes sense. Every company is built around this idea, right? Every company is built around this idea. What? We made less profit? That makes no sense. We already are at only 300 trillion this quarter. We can do better. It's like, no. Like, no. Your company cannot just grow, and more profit and more profit. There is a limit. Like, you can't just make more profit than actual people giving you money. And incentives lazy work. I knew as a coder that my employer expected constant improvement to code. I would never code efficiently. True. Like, sure, it helps to do things more efficiently, and if there is an actual input to make it more efficient, good. But expecting that every time it gets more efficient from this time frame to the next time frame, that's just stupid. Like, people are people. They are not machines. They are not like a CPU that becomes literally better and more efficient with each iteration. There, it kind of makes sense. And even that has a ceiling at some point. The idea is to code it as efficiently and future-proof as possible the first time around. Yeah. I just also hope that it remains unaffected by our recent side endeavors. Losing your future in a battle for positive change was never really a good thing. He shrugs right after this exchange, unsure of what should happen next.
Well then, what should we talk about? Maybe our trip to the Wayfarer this weekend? In retrospect, it'll actually be the perfect night for me. Bomb my interview, I can drink to cope. Nail it? Then I'll drink to celebrate. And I'll be with my friends too. Oh, and my partner. Sorry, guess I'll have to get used to that one. Especially with all the teasing that's sure to come with it.
Hello there, Coffee Siphon. That's half the staff members. Why aren't we making more money? It's like you're speaking from experience in real life. How strange. I'm sorry. I hope you are doing well. Apart from that. He shakes his head as if he realized he was rambling again.
Maybe you want to contribute to the conversation? I'm curious how things have been treating you, Delta. Especially when it comes to Dante, Taylor, and Clace.
I tell him that things have been going good, aside from the current paranoia. Getting to spend one-on-one time with everybody definitely helped. In our group settings, sometimes sarcasm and snark got in the way.
Yeah, we do love to joke with one another. But more private things like this definitely help with bonding. I hang out with the others like this too. You should definitely keep it up.
I nod and let him know that I plan to. Delta? As in Delta from Bioshock 2? No, Delta as in Delta. You are player Delta. Also not Star Trek Delta. I'm actually supposed to hang out with Taylor tomorrow. It will be the first time I see his house. I'm actually kind of excited. This is actually funny because we already did that. Big Daddy Delta. This is a Bioshock 2 reference.
Oh, of course. An invitation to Taylor's house. I'm sure you can tell what he's expecting, right? He did the exact same thing to me when we first met. Not that I mind, though. You're still free to live your life, even if we're dating. No need to hold each other back from fun stuff like that.
Why are not more people like that? Like, literally, can we just infuse this stance, thinking, mindset into the population on Earth? Thank you. Everybody is going to like that. And even if they don't, they will like it. No, really, I just hope more people come to the conclusion that this mindset is a good mindset. Yeah, speak for yourself. I just did. What you gonna do? Having the mindset doesn't mean you have to follow it, but having the mindset means you're open-minded, but you are not defined to follow said mindset to the point. You can have this mindset and still be like, and yet I prefer to have this partner only. You know, you can have the mindset of like, I'm open-minded to do this, but I don't mind to do something otherwise for someone else if they feel otherwise. I believe in psychological science and historic data. I don't think we should be forcing any mindset on anyone. Yeah, it's mostly a joke. Of course I cannot force this mindset on anybody, nor would I do it. I just wish people would take this and be like, yeah, it's actually not really that bad. They don't have to follow it, of course, but it would just be nice to see that more and more generations would be more open-minded. Not defined that they have to follow this, but at least be open-minded enough to say, this is okay, this is acceptable, and it's not a problem at all. Everybody can do whatever they want, but they are not just feeling like offended or like, oh, this is not right. It's like, I want this to go away. It's like, it's the same reason why the LGBTQ community exists, right? We all just want that people finally accept and understand that love is love. It doesn't matter between who that happens. It's just there. And that's all there is. Companionship, partnership, love. It doesn't matter who is together. It should never be really actually a topic. Let people do what they feel like that is the right thing for them. There's no reason to be upset at all. The same goes for this. That's more or less what I mean by that. Yeah, Taylor was definitely transparent about what he wanted. Dante hadn't really shown an interest in me that way though.
Really? You should see the stuff he says in my DMs. Maybe he's just too shy to put the moves on you. But I think he wants to. Pretty bad, actually.
Oh, I beg to differ because we came from the future back into this past event. Dante has moves. I mean, maybe he's idly flirting with me. But I hardly felt him making advances like the others.
You'd be surprised. I know almost everything there is to know about these people. Well, except for Clace and Chiron. They're relatively new. But if you ever have any questions, feel free to ask. As long as it doesn't turn into gossip, I'll answer. That's not really my style. Gotta stay in the lines.
As intrigued as I am, I didn't come here to talk about other people. I came here to talk to him and get to know him better. I remind him that this is our first date.
Oh, of course, you're right. Sorry, I keep getting sidetracked. Probably just nervous, you know?
What? Nervous? Isaac, nervous? That would never happen.
Well, I guess I'm an open book. Is there something you'd like to talk about? Better hand you the wheel before I steer off course again.
Oh, look at this puppy. He's a bundle of anxiety. I just want to put him... I want to take him, and then I'm putting him into an onsen, and make him like melt. And then I'll take him out of the onsen, and make him drink some wonderful, nice chocolate milk. And then I will put him in front of delicious food. Like, calm down. Actually, there has been a thing or two on my mind. Ever since I arrived, his vision has been hinted at a couple of times. It seems to be more and more relevant, so I think I want to know about it.
Wow, guess I should have expected that. There's one thing that I'd rather not talk about, and you pick it. Turns out I'm not as much of an open book as I thought. Sorry.
It's fine. I'd never force him to speak about his vision. That's why I told him to only talk about it if he's comfortable. Perhaps one day he will open up about it, though. It's quite intriguing. A bright future and the one link to our current situation with Charon. Part of me just assumes that this all ends in our favor. But it really couldn't be that simple, could it?
I'd rather get to know each other better, if that's okay with you. You know, who we are here and now, and where we came from. A lot better than talking about a future that might not happen, right?
Yes. I guess that's fair. And if we are going to date, we'd face the future together anyways. So we might as well strengthen our bond here in the present. I decide to ask him about that jacket he's always wearing. Taylor picked on him for it, and he even seems to wear it at work. Everything implied that it had some sort of deeper meaning to him.
Oh, yeah. I guess I do wear it a lot. Taylor only picks on me because he knows it's meaningful. But it was just given to me from someone special in the past. Fit them a lot better than it does me, though. That's why I keep saying I'll grow into it. I don't just mean it physically, you know?
That makes sense to me. It's kind of like filling someone else's shoes. Or perhaps feeling worthy enough to carry someone's legacy.
Have you ever had something that makes you feel safe or comfortable? I guess it's kind of like that. A memento or a souvenir from the past. Dante has some old wallet, well, I have this jacket. Pretty simple.
I have a bed. True, Dante did have a wallet, and those things were pretty obsolete. At least Isaac's memento was stylish and made him look good. I voiced that sentiment, and he blushes almost immediately.
Glad to know I can pull it off. I thought I always came second to your sense of style. You didn't have to dress up for this, you know. It's pretty casual.
And here's a critique. When you have in the text that it says like, and he blushes immediately, and the next thing you present to me is this image and not the image where he actually blushes, then it's an immersion breaker. I feel like that shouldn't be. A first date is special to me, so I wanted to dress the part. I didn't go overboard, but I did my best to look good. Presentation is important, at least that's what I thought.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of what you were taught, I thought I'd ask you about your life back at home. Or your old home, I guess. If you're comfortable. Wow, really? I didn't know it was like that. Probably for the best that you left it behind then. I didn't mean to drum up any bad memories. I apologize.
Yes, that was the game. That was intentional. I also got an achievement for that. I tell him it's fine and that it's important to open up from time to time. There's obviously a few things that he's been holding back on purpose too, and I'm doing an audio save. I'm in no rush to find out, but I tell him we should never be afraid to talk to each other. I think my implication is pretty clear, that he can trust me with his vision. He reaches across the table and holds out his paw. I place mine in his and he squeezes it softly.
Oh, trust me, I know. It just takes courage, that's all. But I think I'll have plenty of that on New Year's Eve. I plan to tap into it and make our bond even stronger.
It works for me and actually makes me more excited. The quantum leap is starting to sound better and better. Taylor had a good idea. It should catch on and become a thing. Of course, that's just the hopeful part of me talking. It could easily just evolve into a night of drunken debauchery. And something tells me that Taylor wouldn't mind that at all. Isaac raises my paw up and gives the top of it a soft kiss. I feel like I know him better now, especially about work and his past. As vague as he was, I'm sure he gaps English. As vague as he was, I'm sure the gaps would be filled later on. He grabs the menu by his side and opens it up with a groan.
Just what do we order?
Yes, what do we order from those 2 food items? Now, I'm not sure if this actually works, but let's try it. Okay.
View which journal entry?
We read the first one, I think. Yes.
View which journal entry?
We also did read this. Really? Wait, we didn't.
View which journal entry?
Apparently we didn't read this one. Monday, December 23rd, 2041. It's a little odd that Argus chose the name Argus, with how much they supported the name Komorebi due to the fact that it's natural and beautiful. I think they wouldn't have named themselves after a monster from ancient history. Granted, it was a monster with many eyes that could see almost everything. So while a little scary, it was fitting. I wonder why the anti-Argus organization called themselves Cypher, but I couldn't find any reasoning, just theories. Cypher! Cypher! A cipher is a code waiting to be cracked, a mystery. I guess it makes sense from an enigmatic rebel organization. What really does make sense, however, is the name of their leader, Hermes, everyone's favorite psychopomp. It's right out of my favorite mythos too, so I'm a little surprised that I didn't link it all together. In addition to helping souls cross the threshold, which could be mirrored in how Hermes helps Zeros entering the city. He's also known as, Greek, Argefontes, in the same mythology, that essentially means Slayer of Argus. How fitting. However, not however, whoever they are clearly did their research and are a sucker for symbolism. Could they really win? If Hermes does come out on top, then that means Zeros will be given phones and the right to live in the city. In that case, we wouldn't have done anything wrong. Ahead of the curve, as Isaac said. Of course, things are easier said than done. Dante and Taylor are clearly doubting Isaac a lot more than I am. It's hard to get a read on Clace, though. He always seems to have his nose buried in his notebook. I guess it doesn't matter what type. I guess it doesn't matter what any of us think, though. Our trip to the Triple R and the Wayfarer will be the real test.
View which journal entry?
Tuesday, December 24th, 2041. I don't believe these entries are doing my life justice. There's a lot going on and it's hard to keep track. Things have been going well with my friends, and I've started to hang out with them one-on-one even more. I went back to the Triple R with Clace, Dante and Isaac this week. I have plans to visit Taylor soon, and if I can, I would like to bond with Chiron. All of these individual bonds will strengthen the group as a whole, and I think that's a good thing. Especially if we plan to start a Rebels and Rebels campaign, the hottest tabletop RPG in the world. It would be pretty lame to play that alongside people you don't vibe with, so I think this is one of the best friends only type of deals. Good thing Chiron can join us via video chat, since Isaac isn't ready to have him in our home yet. The stalemate between Cypher and Argus is starting to scare me, because lives could easily be on the line. It goes a bit deeper than that, though. If the stalemate ends with Cypher giving phones and identities to the Zeros, then we could all be in danger. Argus could figure out how they did it and then track them all down. Since Isaac used the same blueprints that Cypher did, Chiron could easily get caught up in all of that. Well, thank you, Bob. I just did that for you. He'd get in trouble, and then, by extension, so would we. Of course, if Cypher wins, they might just actually win. Argus has a monopoly on this technology, and perhaps it's time for that to come to an end. Competition almost always leads to change, and the needs of society demand adaptation in sync. Also, competition is good. Competition grows progress. It seems the best outcome would be for Argus to maintain their public image and offer harmony between us and the Zeros. But as every minute passes, that seems less likely.
View which journal entry?
So much reading! Rest, relax, R. Rest, relax, recoup. AKA a couple days after we achieved the impossible. Wait, is this going ahead of time? No, it's not actually reading going ahead. I forgot to mention that something pretty big. I don't know how something this big slipped my mind, But we had lunch with Karen in the Triple R. That's right. I saw history unfold right in front of me. A surprise that would shock the world. Just as I expected, having a zero in the city and living like we do, it's just fine. Nothing happened. No alarms blared and nobody even seemed to look our way. The corporation that should be able to see everything just seemed to let us slip under the radar. With our visit to the Triple R going well, I'm basically on Isaac's side now. What little hesitation and paranoia I had is almost fully gone. Don't get me wrong, it's still there, but it's not nearly as bad as before. Even Clay seemed to be feeling the same way. It's just Dante and Taylor that really need to be convinced. But that's exactly what they will get. Isaac has a job interview coming up, and he's taking place at the local Argus, and it's taking place at the local Argus HQ. That means he can use his security clearance to dig a little deeper. I still don't feel very good about keeping this a secret from my counselor, though. Perhaps that's where most of the remaining guilt and paranoia are coming from? Likely. Things went well at Taylor's place. Just as I suspected, he tried making a move on me. No surprise there at all. There's nothing wrong with that, and even Isaac seemed okay with the idea. Not sure why, but whether I pursue these leads or not, it feels nice to have his blessing. Taylor always talks about how the entire group should date, and now I know that this is definitely not a joke, and everybody and everyone would more or less be fine with it too. I assumed as much, since monogamy isn't exactly as commonplace as it once was. But it's still not right to act on any assumptions without making sure. At least now, I'm sure.
View which journal entry?
Is this going ahead? Yeah, this is ahead of time. I kind of want to do this, but I also don't want actually to trigger the transition, to be honest. I'm going to risk it because, like, the thing is this, it's not actually a risk, to be honest. It shouldn't kill me, because I think this is just another story part. And then we need to trigger something first. Like, it makes no sense because literally the last journal entry here talks about the Wayfarer, which hasn't happened yet. And it cannot transition to the next chapter and give us no option to go backwards. And as you see, we are in chapter 2 and we cannot, like, transition backwards. So, would be strange. But let's see.
Experience pivotal fragment. Calm before the crime.
Letting people walk all over you simply leaves footprints for others to follow. I slowly make my way toward the Wayfarer, passing the town square. There's a large gathering of zeros simply standing there, some carry signs. The protest was in full swing. The course surely had some numbers behind. I'm sorry, the entire music reminds me of Tales Noir. I'm like, now it's a detective game. That's how many people were on a colony, then those things must be huge. Without realizing it, I make eye contact with a family of zeros. I shake my head, slightly embarrassed at the unintentional staring. They smile at me, and I choose to smile back. At least they weren't weirded out by that. At least they weren't weirded out by what I just did. I hand their child an apple. After taking it, they start skipping around the town square. They're holding a doll in their other hand. It has a smile just as wide as them, but not nearly as wide as the parents who watch their child enjoy the city. I guess that they were fighting not only for themselves, but for the future of every zero. After skipping and jumping around the town square, the child stops and looks at me. I know your secrets. I wave at them and they wave back before returning to their parents. As they embrace each other, I take this as my signal to leave. But I leave with a rising hope that they will get what they want. I round the corner and see the wayfarer almost immediately. As soon as I do, I see my friends standing around the entrance. Just like Taylor said at the Triple R, fashionably late, like always. Isaac is knelt down, tinkering with what appears to be a drone. The gang watches him work, and I can't help but feel concerned. Messing with the drone mere moments before we sneak in Chiron? This had to be related to everything going on. As soon as I reach my friends, I make a noise, like I'm clearing my throat. This instantly gets their attention, and hugs are exchanged.
Hey, Delta! I was just showing everybody what I've been up to. Figured I could start without you since I kinda talked about it at the diner.
That's true, he definitely gave me a crash course at the diner. Or in this case, crash may not be the best word to use. I know he can control them and they run on his code.
I wish he didn't have to do it out in the open, though. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Isaac looks pretty suspicious right now.
Definitely no need to correct that.
But the security on these things is top-notch. If he was doing something wrong, then alarms would be blaring. I've seen people look over and they don't seem to care.
Clace has it right. See this little blue light? If I didn't work for Argus, it'd be red. And not only that, but it'd call for help. We'd be surrounded by more drones and they'd record us. And that's only until the Argus agents arrive to arrest us, of course.
What are you doing, though? You keep saying you'll explain.
Oh, I'm changing the patrol route on this drone. Gonna have it watch the area while we're inside. You know, just in case anything happens tonight.
Are you expecting anything to happen? Like, did something happen at your interview?
Other than me nailing it? Nope. Even got invited back for a second one.
Oh, really?
Yep. And you were all worried for nothing.
I wouldn't exactly call it nothing, but it's good to know we're safe.
I think he meant to say congratulations.
Right. Sorry.
Isaac stands up and grabs a piece of paper from his pocket. Without missing a beat, he hands it over to Dante.
This is just a piece of paper that says my words.
Yeah, you can go ahead and eat them now. Can't believe you doubted me, man.
I can definitely believe it.
Seconded.
They look at me and Clace for backup, and we just shrug. Isaac has stuck a to his word and delivered exactly what he promised. If I were Taylor or Dante, this would be a turning point in how I felt.
I'm just glad we're all safe.
I nod.
Yeah, and I plan to keep it that way. I can check again during my follow-up interview. It's not scheduled yet since New Year's Eve is so close.
With a smirk, he lets go of the drone and stands up. It immediately flies off, sticking to whatever route he planned. It's impressive to see him do this. He really is a genius when it comes to tech.
Besides, they're super busy with the whole Cypher and Hermes thing. I'm surprised they even had time for an interview given this situation.
Yeah, I guess we picked the perfect time to do all this stuff.
You mean Isaac picked the perfect time. When you say it the other way, I feel like an accomplice.
Technically, you are. But before you can cut in with some snark, I have a question. What did you do at the interview, Isaac? To check if we're safe, I mean.
Oh, good question. This actually goes all the way back to our nightclub outing. You know, when Dante dropped those bottles on the street.
So much for never mentioning it again.
I should thank you for it, actually. It gave me the perfect opportunity.
Seriously?
Yep. Sure enough, a drone came by to clean it up. But since litter is illegal, it had to look up street cam footage. That's the first thing they do. Try to find out who's responsible. I knew that there'd be no data on Chiron, which is bad. It would immediately flag him as a zero and get us in trouble. I rushed to create his identity and even uploaded facial data.
Facial data?
Yeah. It scanned our faces and looked for a match in the database. Because I was fast enough, it was able to find Chiron's as well. So we may be guilty of litter, but nothing more. I promise.
Whoa, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it was easy to look into during my interview. When I was at their HQ, all I had to do was pull up the incident report. If we were in trouble, there'd be notation, or the case would be escalated.
And it wasn't?
Nope. It was marked closed by an Argus agent. Just something about drunk friends having a good time. All of our names are clear in the system. Trust me.
Chiron scoffs and breaks his silence. I wondered why he was just standing there.
Now I know why you wanted all those photos of me after the nightclub. Too bad. Thought maybe you came back outside to ask me on a date.
You probably wants to.
Couldn't blame him.
He laughs, trying to signal that it was a joke. At least now I know what Isaac did when he went back outside that night.
And sorry for not being too talkative. All this city talk goes right above my head. At least I know what those flying things are now.
He must be talking about the drones. I guess these topics would be pretty intimidating for him. I can't even imagine the culture shock of entering the city walls.
Well, I don't think we'll need to talk about that stuff anymore. Taylor and Dante just wanted me to put their minds at ease. And I think I did?
Definitely made a lot of progress. Yeah.
I'm good to go. Feel a lot safer too.
It's true, I could tell that the tension in the air was fading away. It helps to know that we are truly under the radar and without suspicion. Especially as the tension rises and Argus' presence increases in the city.
I'm just as happy as them to leave this stuff behind. And if we're safe, maybe I can even come to New Year's Eve.
It's starting to look more and more hopeful. But let's focus on tonight. We still need to get you inside.
Back door, right?
Yeah, but it can't be all of us. Some of us should enter the front door at the same time. If anything, just to make sure that the door guy is occupied.
Everybody glares at Isaac.
What?
Well, I'm pretty sure I speak for all of us here, but this was your idea, so you need to do the dirty work.
Yeah, we'll all go in the front. You two can sneak in the back, but we'll save a table, so don't worry.
Sorry, Isaac, but I feel the same way. I can't risk getting caught as much as you can.
All right, that's fair. I just imagined a bit more teamwork.
We're causing a distraction for you, Isaac. If they have to ID all of us, you'll have more time. Maybe you should be the one saving a table for us.
Isaac shrugs and nods, realizing Taylor is right. This was a team effort, and our entrance bought time for Isaac. I look over at Chiron and see a hint of worry remaining on his face.
What should we do if people start to suspect me? Or report me? You know, just thinking worst case scenario.
Run, most likely.
Maybe we should have some sort of code word? Something to tip each other off, but not make a scene?
Like a spy movie?
Like a spy movie.
Maybe we could say we're in the mood for vodka.
Bad idea. I already am.
How about karaoke? We can use that as the code word. I could even sing to cause a distraction.
Do they have karaoke in there?
Yeah, loaded with a ton of songs, too. Maybe you can sing one of your own, Clace?
If I need to, I will.
Perfect. If we need a distraction in the bar, Clace can get on stage. But what do we do? Just make our way back home? What if they send out agents or drones to catch us?
Karaoke? Everyone starts running. Understandable. Dummy, 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 dummy.
Run, most likely. But I doubt it'll ever come to that. The scans should work just fine. But I am prepared.
Isaac waves his phone in front of us with a smirk. It's the latest Apple.
I can pull up a live map to help us avoid any drones. If we need to, we'll make it back home without a trace. Is that good? Can we go inside and party now?
Everyone looks at each other and nods. Seems like we had an entry plan and several exit plans. No matter what happened, we'd be prepared to take on the night. I'm a bit worried about potential leaving Clace behind while he sings. But the more I think about it, the more I think he'd be okay. August wouldn't make a move on an idol while they're performing, would they? I just hope that things went smoothly. It was good to be cautious up to a point. After a while, you're just overly paranoid. Thankfully, Isaac dealt with the big blow to any paranoia. Even Dante seemed ready to party, which was saying something. And so we head inside, our bond feeling as strong as ever. I just hope it stayed that way. But then, suddenly, people starting to dance ballet, going quapla. Ah!
View which journal entry.
I wonder. No, we read that.
View which journal entry.
Didn't I just read this? No, I didn't. I keep seeing this symbol everywhere. What does it mean? What does Squaresoft mean? aka the day we became Wayfarers, Friday, December 27th, 2041. Is it weird to give my days titles like that? I thought it was a bit quirky last time, and I'm all for quirkiness. I don't even know why I'm writing like this. Why I'm writing like this. It's so me of me to start doubting my own thoughts as soon as I write them down. Best not to think about, I guess. If there's one place I shouldn't worry about how I voice my thoughts, it's in my own private diary. A safe haven, just like it should be. I've started to notice that Clace is acting a little strange. only saying this because it's somewhat related to journals and diaries. Didn't have one with him at the nightclub, but since then he's always been holding his diary. I feel like it's a little odd. Sometimes he just flips through the pages reading them even when the group is in the middle of something else. Looking back at the VOD of Tyler's stream, he even had it with him there too. If a diary can be a safe haven, I have to wonder if, for some people, it could be too safe, you know? Today is the day we're all going to the Wayfarer. I totally trust Isaac now. That doesn't mean my paranoia and worry are completely gone or anything, but that outing to the Triple R was a real eye-opener. We walked right in front of the door and not a single head turned our way. Kyron was treated just like one of us, which is how I think things should be done. It gets more and more difficult to believe that we are doing something wrong, but maybe we've just been looking at it the wrong way. Just because our thoughts go against those in power doesn't automatically mean we are wrong. It's possible for those in power to be wrong as well, or at least out of touch with what the world truly needs. Right now, I think that's unity or equity. Well, thank you, bot, for being here, and goodbye, Patrick. Yeah, I just banned Patrick. But my name's Patrick. But yeah, I'm not going to click on this because that will start a 2 to 4 hour trip of story. And we are not going to do that today.